Friday, everyone. It's Sports Unplugged, and we're at a cup final. How are we all? Can we all tell I'm happy? Which is always never a good thing from Kev's Catholic Derby down. So, in case you don't know, I'm your host, Chris Bragg. I'm with my mate, Kev, and back again because he was great last time, Luke. Hi, Luke.
No, thank you. Hey, I'm doing well. I'm doing well, thank you.
Also, Mr. Sullivan, how are we?
We're all right. We've 3 points in the week, so everything is all good. Now it's time to get the cream.
Yeah. Imagine someone predicting a 2-0 win for Liverpool. That went well, didn't it?
Yeah. No.
A nice controlled 2-0, lad. I'll be all right with that. 6-0. Yeah, that also works as well.
That'll work. Yeah,
that'll work. I can live with being wrong with that. That's all right then. So cool. So Kev wants to talk about Formula One and hurling, but we won't do that because I told him he's going to behave himself. Otherwise, Luke will go. Luke's only come for the football. Cool.
Sure.
So before we start anything, cut finalize. Let's talk BetMate, who we've partnered with, who we got within 1 point of the money last time, Kev. 1 point, six though. So it's a big improvement of second bottom. So positive on there. So we're gonna need some help with the chat tonight as well. So we need to pick a cup final team, which has got to be Liverpool and Chelsea players. Maximum of 6 from one side, so 6 from one, 5 from the other. We'll pick a starting lineup. So, as Laura Duff says, we're getting closer, so we need to get it right this time.
Yeah, so this is a big one this weekend.
So, what we'll do is because I've got the hosting duties, I'm going to get you two to pick it. So then, if it goes wrong, it's not my fault.
Fair enough.
That's all right. So, Kev, because you're the pro in this, because you've been doing it for a bit longer, I'll give Luke a bit of time. So you got to pick me. One Liverpool player, one Chelsea player. And then, Luke, you can do the same in a minute.
Okay.
All right, look, I'll start from the start. Kelleher.
Okay.
And Alonso.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me put him in because I didn't have him in our thing. Substitute him out. Do this live, and then we know we've got it sorted. Okay, so you want Alonso. Do you think he'll play?
Yeah, I think he'll play, but he takes an awful lot of set pieces. He's got a good corner delivery, and he's pretty decent from free kicks. And he's always handy for an assist or two. You never know.
Yeah, hopefully no assist this weekend though.
Well,
Luke, anyone? Who's your fancy for yours?
I'll go with Van Dijk and Thiago Silva.
Right, so we've got Thiago Silva ready. So let me remove Trent.
And we're going to have a discussion about this in a minute.
Well, I know you're getting upset, Kev. Okay, go on then. Give me a midfielder each. You can fight over who has Chelsea, who has Liverpool.
Go on, Luke.
I'll go
crack on.
Kante for Chelsea because he's guaranteed to play, and even if he's half injured, he always seems to come out to play versus Liverpool. And
he's also very good.
Plus he's very good as well. So
it's a very annoying trade, isn't it? Go on, Kev.
Old reliable himself,
Fabinho. I knew you go for Fabinho. Right, front two. Can he interest you in Salah and Diaz, or do you have an alternative?
I went for Salah and Mane.
Oh, okay. What do you think, Luke? You've got the casting vote.
I was unsure whether not to go for one Chelsea, one Liverpool. So I was thinking Salah and Havertz because
in this game Havertz is classed as a midfielder.
Well, it's classed as a midfielder. All right, then I'll go. I'll go with Kev. I'll go Mane and Salah.
Cool. So we've only got 2 Chelsea players, so the bench would have to be a lot of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we could put one Liverpool player on the bench, probably a defender or a midfielder.
Well, no, because you've got 3 defenders already in Alonso. Is Alonso registered as a defender or a midfielder?
Yeah. Alonso's registered defender, yeah.
And you've also got Thiago Silva and Virgil.
Yep. So you can have a Liverpool player in midfield.
You need a Liverpool midfielder.
Yep. So which one would you like, Kev?
Liverpool midfielder.
Yep.
Mr.
Thiago?
It's going to have to be, but
because the other option we could do is because you said you wanted to have a little chat around defenders and Trent.
Yeah.
Do we play around with defenders and give ourselves a different midfielder option.
Yeah, put Trent in there and just get rid of Thiago Silva, because I might have made a bit of a meh on that one.
I don't know if we. It's the numbers game now. See.
Yeah.
Well, it's two ways to do it. We could put Trent in the starting line and put Alonso on the bench, and then we could pick another Chelsea midfielder on for the bench when you sorted them.
If I was going for a Chelsea midfielder, I'd go for Jorginho. Takes the penalties, plays in front of the back four, gets a fair amount of interceptions. His passing rate is always pretty good.
Yeah, so
Havertz in there.
but that Havertz is the other one.
Havertz would be another one, yeah.
So go on, Kev. Go. Should we ask the chat? Who do you want your bench midfielder for Chelsea? Do you want it as Havertz or do you want it as Jorginho? So the chat can.
The chat can come back on that one.
The chat can come out of that one. So at the moment we've got a starting lineup then of Kelleher in goal or Mendy.
I don't know if I think Kepa starts for Chelsea.
I've got a feeling it's going to be Mendy.
Okay, that's one for the chat then. The chat can say who do you want, Kepa or Mendy? So they can argue that. So which one do you want to start though? Liverpool or Chelsea?
Liverpool. Start with Kelleher.
Okay. Back to Van Dijk and Trent.
Yeah.
Midfield of Fabinho, Kante, and front two of Salah and Mane.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, the chat. So for the chat then, that's the team. So it's Kelleher, Van Dijk, Trent, Fabinho, Kante, Salah, and Mane. The chat need to let us know who do they want. Do they want as captain and as vice captain? So whoever shouts first gets to pick it. Cool. And then and the chat are also going to let us know who do you want as your bench midfielder. Do we want Havertz or do we want Jorginho? So while they're arguing over that, let's talk about a cup final. Luke, League Cup finals then. What are your memories of these then? Good, bad, indifferent?
I think I didn't watch the last one, the 2016 one, but I did remember watching the one against Cardiff when I was still at home with my parents. And I remember because it just finished full time and we just finished eating dinner and I was sort of like, I'll wash up afterwards because I want to watch extra time and penalties. Yeah. So I remember that and I went absolutely ballistic when Liverpool won it.
Fair enough.
That was
Kev,
10 years ago now.
What was your first League Cup final memory?
I remember it being called the Milk Cup. I can remember
Kev.
the adverts around it. You look at all the different incarnations you've had of this competition. We had the Milk Cup, the Rumbelows Cup, the Littlewoods Cup, then Carabao Cup, the Coca-Cola Cup.
Coca-Cola Cup now.
It's been mental. I don't really have any specific memories of Liverpool, but it's one of those competitions for me that it's almost like the build-up is better. Because if you get to a final and you win it, great, happy days. But in the context of the season, when you get to see the squad, we'll have watched pre-season. You'll have picked out some young guys that you hope might do something, and the first chance you're going to get to see them in meaningful football is going to be the League Cup, and you get to see then what they're made of. So for me, it was all about the build-up and how those kids reacted to playing in senior football. And the win against Cardiff, we don't tend to play well in cup finals, in the League Cup final.
It's stressful, aren't they?
They're dogged, turgid affairs. Even when, we've 8 wins in it, but of the 8 wins, I think 2 or 3 of them went to replays.
Yeah, it's quite the one we fairly first one, which was against West Ham. 81.
81, yeah.
That was a replay.
Yeah, and then there was another one.
Everton, I think, was a replay. We lost that one.
The replays used to be either a Villa Park or Main Road.
Yeah, so there's that one, and then there's the my first final was the Coca-Cola. So it was Bolton. We were dog shitting. The only good thing about that whole final was Matt Manaman's second goal, which is you haven't seen it. It's a lovely little mazy run, side foot finish. It's great. Matt Manaman at his best, but it was just really turgid and difficult. And Bolton played well, but they were a division below. You know, the Birmingham game, one of my favourite seasons, the cup treble season. That was hard work.
And the thing is, with the League Cup, it was always the case. Yeah, you got silverware in the cabinet early, but you guaranteed yourself a place in Europe.
Yeah, which back then for us, especially in early 90s and the early 2000s, was a big thing because we always struggled sometimes to qualify.
Yeah. But even back in the 80s, it was like to get into the European Cup was for division winners, or if you won the European Cup, then it was either the Cup Winners' Cup or the UEFA Cup. Cheekies. Black and white.
Managed also know was it in colour when you watched the League Cup?
I used to watch Match of the Day and the big match on a black and white telly in my bedroom when I was a kid. All right.
You were 22,
that was
Kev.
probably. Well, I remember Trevor Brooking playing for West Ham, and I can remember Ricky Villa and Ozzy Ardiles playing for Spurs. So that was around 1980. Was when I first started getting into football. I was probably about 8 or 9 years of age. You know, and I remember having a black and white telly in my bedroom and trying to tune it in to watch Match of the Day or the big match, whichever one had it at the time. But yeah, Lasso is spot on there. Liverpool won 4 League Cups in the 80s. And then I think
before that, they hadn't won it.
No, Nottingham Forest had a run, I think, of 2 or 3 as well in the 80s.
Because Forest beat Liverpool in 78.
Yeah.
With a penalty that was outside the area. And, you know, because watching I Believe in Miracles, which is about the Forest side that won the European Cup. So they showed that. It was miles outside as well. So
it's one of those. See, I prefer the League Cup to the FA Cup for different reasons.
It's a bit more. A lot of the games are midweek, which I think gives a bit more of an atmosphere as well. So the games are a lot fun. And to be honest, the crowd's different for a League Cup game. I think because it's the League Cup, people season ticket holders tend to give the ticket away. Or you take your lad for your first goal, you take your daughter for the first game. So it tends to be a bit of a younger or a newer crowd, so they're a bit more excited.
I remember going to one of the League Cup games. I remember it was under Rodgers, it was against Swansea, and Liverpool went 1-0 down because I think I had a mate that was a Swansea fan sitting in the Liverpool end. And I remember Balotelli scoring one of his only goals for Liverpool in that game. Because I think he only scored 3 that season, and he scored 1 against Swansea. And I remember I was like, we're going to have to stay. I was like, yes, we get to stay to watch extra time, but oh no, I've got to get up early the next morning. And then Dejan Lovren scored the last minute header. And then as I got up to celebrate, my friend elbowed me in the head because he got up and started celebrating. And that's the only time I've ever been to Anfield. And that's on my list to go again. To Anfield after that game. It was a great
I've been to a few League Cup. I actually did a lot of the old UEFA Cup, when it was good. Before it basically got turned into the Europa League and basically anybody got thrown into it when it was when you get knocked out. So that's one of the other things. Kev knows one of my favourite League Cup memories is the 5-5 of Arsenal. And that was my daughter's first game. Right. Yeah. My daughter's first ever game was the 5-5 of Arsenal. That's the only that was the first men's games you've seen that.
Was that Kelleher's first season?
That was Kelleher. That was because Kelleher was, not to jinx it, he wasn't very good in that game. No. But in the other goal was Martinez, who's now at Villa, who was dreadful in the game as well. But now you look at, but it's amazing what 2 years do because Martinez now is fabulous.
And really you look at
Kelleher looks different, man.
On that night, Ozil was outstanding. Ozil wound back the years because of who he was playing against.
Joe Willock.
He was head and shoulders above everything else.
Joe Willock good. A very young Harvey Elliott played, and he was at fault.
I'm going to try and find that Liverpool team actually, because I want to see how many are still kicking about.
Joe, interestingly, we've played Lallana, Chamberlain, and Keita, and the senior guys didn't do that well. And Chamberlain scored a beauty, but I don't think Keita did that well in the game. Jones came on. I did really well, and Origi just does what Origi does in the League Cup. He just keeps scoring.
That Liverpool team was. It had Kelleher in goal, Nico Williams, Joe Gomez, Sepp Vandenberg, James Milner, and then it was Keita, Lallana, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Elliott, Brewster, Origi. That was the team that night.
Wow.
I know.
Sunday's a different kettle of fish. I mean,
oh yeah,
it is Chelsea. I don't know if it's a case. If it's just the system that Tuchel plays. It almost nullifies a lot of what we want to do. They don't tend to create that much, but they're very good at shutting us out and stopping us playing and nullifying the threats that we have.
Big pitch might help us though, because we'll maybe have more opportunity to stretch them.
Yeah, I looked at a video there tonight of Trent. It's Trent's first domestic cup final.
Yeah,
it will be. Yeah,
and I'd say it's going to be a first domestic cup final for a lot of the lads.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it says a Klopp. I mean, it's only Klopp's second domestic cup final. First was against City in the same competition. So, interesting to see what it is.
Nothing easy about the two fixtures, is it? Yeah.
Right. So the chat's been very quiet tonight. Come on, guys. We need you to pick us a substitute Chelsea midfielder, and we need you to tell us who you want as captain and vice captain in the starting for us. Just to reiterate the team again, it is Kelleher, Van Dijk, Trent, Fabinho, Kante, Salah, and Mane. So we need a captain and a vice captain. So where's the reclaimer? He's very good at getting likes, getting to kick a few people into gear. Bonkers LFC says, "What if Origi starts instead of Diaz?" Now,
well, we'll get on to the lineups.
Well, just to throw it out there, because you and me, Kev, have had different views on this.
Yeah.
Origi played most rounds, as did Minamino, scored.
Yeah.
Really contributed. Probably aren't going to start the final.
No.
Kelleher is. Now, I get the logic why Kelleher started, because he's probably been promised it to stay on, is that you'll get the domestic cups, and if we get to a League Cup final, you're the keeper. Which, to be fair, when City got to finals, they always play the reserve keeper. Chelsea have done it in the past.
That happened in the FA Cup as well.
Yeah, quite a lot do it, so it's not a new thing. I'm a little bit old school of a sense of, if you're in a final, you play your best possible players. It gives you the best chance. Now, this is not me saying Kelleher's awful, because he's not. But in my head, Alisson's better. So if you start with a better keeper, you're arguably giving yourself a better chance. But I've made peace with it, because let's be honest, it was announced pretty much after the semi-final. That's the goalie, so it's no big surprise. But it's just again, but Origi's the funny one, because Origi in cup games, it is his forte, isn't it?
It is, and he's done okay in the games since he's come back from injury. He's impacted the games.
Laura Duff is correcting me, which no one.
All right,
I've got it wrong. So Havertz it is. Apparently, quite a few people said Havertz. I've obviously missed in the chat.
Lovely.
That's your fault, Kev. You keep an eye on chat.
I'm as blind as a bat at the best of times, man. Don't let these fool you, mate.
Don't let these champ jars fool you. Right. So we just need a captain and a vice captain. I'm sure if there are loads of votes, let's have some more. I'm just trashing me room while we do that. So anyway, sorry, Kev, you were saying about Origi.
Yeah, look, he's impacted games since he's come back from injury, and I just don't think he'd be ready for a start. And I don't know if Klopp would pick him in a final, seeing as he's leaving in the summer. I could see an argument for playing him, because I would have started him against Leeds. The argument
we both predicted that, didn't we?
Yeah, but the argument for starting him is you have a focal point to play off and play around. But I honestly think the last thing you do with Chelsea is give Thiago Silva someone to mark.
Yeah,
true. But the way we play with Origi, he'll end up playing left wing.
He drifts around, but
I still think they're playing Mane through the middle. I mean, Mane through the middle, I think, could work quite well, because he's different to Firmino. He doesn't drop deep and link play like Firmino does, but he's a lot more direct, and he's a better finisher as well. So I think I just give Chelsea someone a bit different, something different to feel. And he's done in the last two games, so at least now it's not going to be alien when we throw him up front, because my gut feeling is, look, according to Pep Linders, Bobby's done. That he's not playing in the final. And it's a challenge for Jota. Now, I don't know if that's just a little bit of throw it out there that he's not playing. I think that could be a little, not a mind game, but a little bit of not giving it away. But I'll be amazed if Jota's anything other than the bench.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if he's even there.
Yeah.
When he was talking about him, yeah, he's good at running in straight. He's okay at running in straight lines. And he started to do turns and stuff. I'm sorry, mate, you're miles away. If that's what you're doing, then you're miles away from being even close to being ready. Because as much as I want to win it, there's bigger games coming up thick and fast. I'd rather be right for those than gambled on this, even if it is off the bench.
Yeah, I know what you mean. The thing I think is, I know he's done a couple of interviews recently, Jota, and I'm a bit like, you don't tend to do a lot of interviews if you're not really going to be involved, or if you're focusing too much on your rehab. Like Henderson's done a lot of interviews now. I know he's club captain, but we'll come to Henderson. If you'd have said to me 2.5, 3 weeks ago, will Henderson start the League Cup final? Not a chance.
Yeah, agree.
I was all agreed. I agreed his form wasn't good enough, and he wouldn't be there. To make that quickly 3 games changes because he's last 3 games performance-wise, can't argue him. Coming off the bench has been really good, and the game he started, he was really good. It's a nice debate to have now with Henderson, because if he starts, I've no problem with it. Yeah, but he has shown recently, coming off the bench for the last half hour, he's been really, really good.
Yeah, listen, let's box off best bet, mate, because I think we're there now.
We've got a captain now, we've
got a captain and Mo.
Just need a vice now.
I reckon a vice captain. I'm just going to pick one. Fuck everyone else. Trent.
Trent is it?
Yeah.
See, do you know what?
I'm going with
Trent. Didn't think you'd go for Trent. I thought you were going to go for your.
The tried and trusted. No, I think because it'll become apparent later. But
okay,
I'll go for Trent.
Oh well, that's the team. That's the team sort anyway. So I'll save that. We'll send that to Gav later. So that's the team box. Chance with
for anyone else in the chat, if you're in the UK, the link for BetMate is in the description. Click on the link. It explains you've got a free pot. If you wanted to use it for the cup final, it's all in there. And remember, if you're gambling, gamble responsibly. But
it's good fun.
All the information is, and it is a bit of fun.
The key thing is though, you're not playing against BetMate. You're playing against other people in the pot. So basically, you beat everyone in the pot, you win the money. It's slightly different. So it's like fancy football without the
budgets.
Without the budgets, and the good thing is, if you pick someone for the starting 11, you're starting 7 and they're not starting, whoever you have as that substitute is thrown in instead. So it still gives you a decent opportunity to do quite well, which we've done quite well at a couple of them recently. So.
Yeah, we've done all right out of the subs.
Yeah. So, Colin, Kev, what's your favourite League Cup final? Probably not a black and white one because young audience.
I'll be honest.
I'm laughing, Luke. You're next.
No.
It's hard to pick one. I'd probably go with the Cardiff one because you had to battle through it to get a win, and but you could say that for a load of those games, and you got to think back as well. For a long time, it wasn't televised outside of England.
Yeah,
so. And there was no access for if you didn't live in England. There was no access for it. So we used to watch it on VHS. You get a tape of it. But yeah, I go with the Cardiff one. I think
fair enough. Luke, is that your one?
Yeah, that's my one. I think didn't Gerrard's cousin miss the deciding penalty? Anthony Gerrard missed the last one.
Has anyone heard the commentary for that?
I vaguely remember it.
The John Aldridge one where he goes, "Come on, Anthony, be a good little scouser, be a good little scouser." And as he misses it, he goes, Aldridge go, "Yes, gutted for the lad." He went, he willed him to miss, and as soon as he missed, he goes, "Gutted for him." Like,
gutted, right? Yes, we won.
You're not. You're absolutely not. The blur says the United one. The United one was an interesting one because we played well first half. We got battered second half. Jersey Dudek, bit of redemption because it was the same. That was the same year he had his Foreland disaster where he dropped the ball. Oh. Yeah, mine's the Birmingham one because I do remember the '95 one, but I was more into me footy in the 2000s, and that side it'd been a while since Liverpool had won. I think it was about 6 years between them winning it, so it was like the first one you probably remember watching live. So. That was the one I enjoyed. But the fact it went to penalties and it was a bit of a dog. It was a bit of a dog. Didn't really help. Which I could have done without. But Hopefully, we'll not repeat that.
Did you know that in this competition this season, we've used 29 players?
Oh, you asked me. I mean, I said 25. So yeah, I thought
That
it was
doesn't
half.
surprise me.
29 players in 5 games.
I mean, then again, when you think about it, you think of the team we picked against Leicester. Billy Cometio started and a few others. Yeah.
Well, I was looking at the routes to the final for both clubs, right? And for Chelsea to get to the final, they beat Villa on penalties.
Yeah.
1-1 at 90 minutes. Southampton 1-1 penalties. Brentford 2-0. Spurs 3-0 over the 2 legs for the semi-final.
To be fair to Chelsea, they've not exactly had an easy run.
No, they haven't.
Yeah.
They've had Premier League clubs all the way through, and I mean, the only thing you'd say is they didn't have to travel far for any of the games, But it hasn't been an easy run for them at all.
No, ours on paper has been a better run.
Oh yeah, Norwich beat Norwich 3-0.
Preston was there
with
the amazing 2-0 with the Origi scorpion kick.
Yeah, that was a hell of a goal, mine. I mean,
yeah, that was great.
He's such a maverick, isn't he? Because he's like
enigma.
He's just going like, what? Because he was terrible in that game as well. He could he look at his feet on the legs, and then he does that, and you go like, he just looks. After a while, you just shrug. Go, that's just what he does. He's just a bit mad, and then he does something brilliant.
Origi is only a few games from getting a year extension. I think he's got to play 10 games this season.
Yeah,
to get a 1-year extension. I think he's played 5.
That's the option.
Yeah, it's an option for the club, but it's also an option for the player. If all parties agree, then he'll stay. But there's a conversation. We'll have it later on in the season, towards maybe when the season's done and dusted. If and when he moves on, and he plays regular football, I'm really interested to see how he does.
Yeah,
because I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that he's capable of playing week in, week out, 90-minute games.
No, do you know? Knowing Divock, he'll end up being on the bench for Bayern. Like that.
They've had worse.
Choupo-Moting.
That's what I was thinking. Choupo-Moting, it was like Stoke didn't do very well. That end up being on the bench for PSG. I can see Divock doing something like that. Going, I'll just be a bench player for Bayern. Be all right. When I get to live in Germany for a bit.
He's better than Choupo-Moting.
And he'd probably do all right.
Yeah,
that's the
crazy thing. But yeah, I mean, the 3-3 with Leicester, and
that was a great game.
That was the one game after, and it was the reaction at the end of the 90 minutes to going through that it turned my stomach on Leicester, because they were always that club that I didn't mind seeing them doing well.
Rodgers is the manager, so.
But even then, I didn't mind it. I didn't mind the football they used to play, but the way the fans reacted after that turned my stomach.
Interestingly,
really spoiled my piss that did.
I've seen Diogo Jota interview with John Gibbons, and he talks about that. He goes, "Oh yeah, my emotions got over me when he told the Leicester fans to do one in a more unpleasant way."
Yeah.
And when he was interviewed, he said like, "Oh yeah," and he goes, "Well," he said, "I didn't like what they were singing or they were shouting in the first half. Said it really got me goat up," and he just said, "So I was determined." So thinking like, most people think players, I don't pay attention to the crowd. They do. I know what's going on. So that's why Jota looks so fired up. I mean, he was brilliant when he came on that second half.
Yeah.
And equalised again from Taki, who's probably been, him and Jota have been like goal scorers of the competition, really, for us.
Yeah.
Taki's been one of those players. He's quietly gone about his business when he's played, and he's more often than not, he's impacted games, be it goals, assists, an assist to an assist, or just being a busy nuisance. And I think he's underrated technically, and he's always going to have the lightweight label thrown at him.
Yeah.
But you need a squad, and I think him as part of a squad, no problem with it, because he doesn't let you down when he plays. He tries his heart out.
Yeah.
And you got to have you can't have a squad of superstars. It doesn't work. So having the odd player like Taki and Divock around the squad, it's all good with me. But then the semi-final, Arsenal.
Oh, it's great. Second leg was great. The first
drama leading up to that.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. Some of the first leg was dire. It was dire.
Yeah, that was bad.
There was a big overreaction to a draw with Arsenal. Yes, it was against Tottenham. Yes, it wasn't very good. But this is an Arsenal you always thought, but you can get at these. Even without Salah and Mane.
Remember that picture of Ben White saying that's what we effing do? I was thinking, yeah, you're getting done in the second leg.
Oh, no, he was... Because, I mean, Ben was at fault for the first goal because he just tried to ping something like he was David Beckham and went straight to Liverpool. Yeah, thanks very much.
Yeah, Barry definitely asked there, will any of the kids even make the bench for the final?
Well, interesting you say that. Earlier on today, Rory, I was saving this one. Question for the panel. Name 9 subs, but it means 3 big names of this 12 will be dropped. And you and me were having that conversation, weren't we?
Yeah, we had a chat about it. Do you know what? I forgot about it. I remember you said it.
Yeah, because
it's just as well Rory's put those names up there now because...
Jeez.
See, Rory knows his stuff. Yeah, because I said it, there is generally an argument, and you wouldn't have thought it's that. You could see like the likes of Jones and Elliott not even in the squad.
Yeah.
I don't think Jota makes the squad.
Gomez
made the squad.
I think Gomez and Adrian won't make the squad. I think one of Jones and Elliott won't. I'm slightly edging towards more Jones probably missing out because he's not played as much recently. To be fair, he played well against Leeds.
I think maybe that start against Leeds is like, you're going to get the start against Leeds, but you're not.
Yeah, you're going to get Leeds. We're going to give you Norwich, and then you're going to be involved against West Ham. So that's what you might do. I don't know. I've just got a sneaky feeling that I think Jota will be pushed on the bench, even if it's only for 20 minutes. I just think they'll take that chance.
I could see.
So who do you leave out? Who do you leave, Luke? Who do you leave out?
I'd leave out Gomez.
Okay.
Because he's not really had. He's had that one game at right back. He's not really played a lot, and when he's played, he's not looked. He's not looked great. Not saying that he can't get back up to those levels, but like, where's he gonna play the games? Hopefully, he plays against Norwich in the cup. Probably say Curtis Jones, and probably Oxlade-Chamberlain, because Oxlade-Chamberlain, he's not really taken his chances recently, and with now the squad coming back to full fitness, like when he's having games like Norwich, and you're thinking, is he playing well to get on the bench of a cup final? It's touch and go, and he probably just misses out.
Chris?
Yeah. Well, I think Ali and, we'll say Canati for now, although we'll have a discussion about that in a minute, and Costas. I think those 3 are certs because they are what they are.
Yeah.
I think Milner and Keita will both be on there because Keita, I think, is the backup left side of the option to Thiago. So if Thiago doesn't do a full 90, then it seems to be the next cap of the rank for the left-hand side is Keita.
Yeah.
I think Chamberlain does make the squad only because he can play right side of midfield, or he can play across the front 3. They're not his ideal positions, but he's an option to give. He gives you lots of options off the bench. That's where I'm a bit like Elliott could possibly do that as well. I think Jota starts, and I actually think it'll be a flip between. I've got a feeling one of Origi or Taki doesn't make the squad. And I'm edging towards Taki not making the squad, and it might be Origi.
Yeah, go thanks Taki, but you're not making it.
Yeah, I think
I've got that feeling. If he can get Jota in the squad, I think Taki might. And if I know what say he's earned his spot and all that, but he's very similar stylistically to the attackers we have. Origi is the option B. He is something different. He is a bit of an enigma. We all know that, but it's a hell of a question though about Rory. To be fair, it's a great debate.
I'm glad I don't have to make that decision.
Yeah,
because you can make an argument for all of them playing.
Pretty much.
I would agree with Laura. I wouldn't have Jota involved. I also wouldn't have Gomez, and I probably wouldn't have Ox. Purely and simply, you'd have Milner on the bench if you wanted someone to see the game out, or if you needed someone to play right back, he can do that.
Yeah.
I think Naby and Curtis on form are probably ahead of Ox, but the way Klopp has been giving players that couple of weeks out and bringing them back in, wouldn't surprise me.
Neil Axon's the other up had an interesting theory, which was we've not seen Jones for 2-3 weeks, and we didn't see Elliott in the Leeds game. And he said, could it be a situation where Klopp looks at his squad and goes, I like Jones when he starts, and I like Elliott when he starts.
Yeah.
But coming off the bench, he's going, well, if I need to come off the bench, I can use Milner for that because he can do 2-3. I can use Ox for that. I can use Keita for that. I can use Origi for that. But maybe he's looking going, there aren't many situations where I want to bring a Jones off the bench or I want to bring an Elliott off the bench. I'd like to start them when I need them. But he looks and go, they're probably not my bench options at the moment.
Yeah. Red Steve comment there. Rule 1 of the Day Trippers, always agree with Laura. Rule 2 is go back and read rule number 1.
unless you're just feeling pedantic like being that just makes a difference,
But I mean,
I'm often wrong, so I may as well carry on.
We still have options a month after, a good few weeks after the AFCON and a good few days, bar Bobby and Jota, touch wood, we've been okay. Starting 11 could be interesting though, because I think there's one or two positions that are up for discussion.
So should we do what we think Klopp will do and what we would do?
Yeah.
Because I think that'd be different. Because we can probably pick an 11 that we think Klopp would do, but doesn't mean we agree. Doesn't mean Klopp's wrong, whatever. It's just people have their own personal preferences.
Yeah.
So Kelleher in goal, we all sort of that's been set in stone.
Yeah.
I think 3 of the back 4 are set in stone, and there's one debate. So I think Trent, Van Dijk, Robertson. I think that's set in stone.
Yeah.
It's Matip or Konate for me. Gomez, I don't think is even in the picture. So I think it's Matip and Konate. Now, I thought Konate would have played against Leeds, which would have been the indicator that he's starting the final. He played Matip. He played very well. Again, Matip 3 days in a week. He has done it. Not very often, but he has done it. My niggling feeling is that he goes with Konate, especially if we think Havertz is going to start. The reason being is Konate is probably more mobile, which would be better against the Havertz.
Agreed.
But if they start Lukaku, he also quite likes that physical battle. So, and Klopp just likes to drop him in when it's a big game. Old Trafford away, we're dropping Konate. Why not? Because, let's be fair to him, Konate's never done anything wrong,
No.
And it just gives us something a little bit more. His passing style is different. So Matip's more of he likes to bring the ball out and run with it. Konate's more of he likes to punch it through the middle. It just different, of course, there's different options. So, what do you guys think?
There's a question in there for Luke. Luke Tanner, who's the best defensive pairing? VVD and Matip or Joe Stanley and Stu Davis? We're going to have to educate us plebs here, mate.
Oh, my good friend Jamie from Let's Talk Sport. Obviously, Joe and Stu are 2 Liverpool fans, but I'm sorry, Burgoyne. I'm going to have to go with Van Dijk and Matip. Sorry, mate.
Edging it close or?
Nah, not really.
Nah, tapped out 10 seconds in. Love it.
Yeah, tapped out 10 seconds in.
Craig, look, with all due respect, Bracky, I'll stick with Klopp. We obviously all stick with Klopp, but you're allowed to have a discussion. You're allowed to have a discussion about football, saying, who do you think? My gut feeling is Konate, but if he goes with Matip, I'm not bothered.
The only reason I think he goes with Matip is experience and Matip's positional sense with
Virgil.
Virgil's
probably more comfortable with Matip as well, because that's who he's.
Plus, you can tell Matip you're not playing against Norwich midweek. Take the week off, get ready for West Ham, and you can have Konate and Gomez play against Norwich in the Cup midweek.
Yeah, and it's no slight on Konate, because if he starts, we're all good with it. In the same way as I would be if Tsimikas started over Robbo, I wouldn't lose much sleep over it. I genuinely wouldn't.
I think he's over
the season that he's had. I think he's exceeded what a lot of people thought he would.
Red Steve says Matip scoring, Chris. No stopping out. Oh, can we just talk about Matip's goal?
I love it. That's the biggest roar from me.
I missed the first half and I saw the goal. The only thing that would have made that perfect is that Johnny dribbled and passed it. If he just carried on, if he just dribbled it all the way.
If he rounded the keeper,
I'm waiting to see him do one there. I've said he'll do. I think he'll do. I think Shawnee said he'll do it in the Champions League final. he just run with the ball just around the keeper and just pass him and go, what? That's just what I do. I was made up when he scored, though. He's just, you could tell, but you also tell by the players' reaction that he's so popular.
Yeah, he's such a likable character as well.
He's just a bit quirky.
The fact that he can get away with
I like it.
Henderson in the head.
The best thing of that is the other camera angle where you just see him this big beaming grin. I think they're always like, he just doesn't care, does he? He's just so happy.
I think I've never seen a player more comfortable in his own skin and more comfortable in the squad than he is. He's comfortable in the position that he has as well. In some ways, the best thing. Yeah, but the best thing to ever happen to him was that injury. Because
touch wood, he's played more time. He's played more this season than he has in the last 2 seasons.
So I honestly believe he rushed himself back from previous injuries because he's never had a real long one.
No,
he always had niggly injuries where he'd have a couple of weeks out, might miss 4 or 5 games, and then he'd rush himself back because look at who we had at the time.
Well, Klopp admitted in the summer that Matip was playing with stuff that
they didn't manage him properly.
But I think they got to a point when they're going, we haven't got anybody else.
Yeah, I know, but at least they've managed to, between the medical staff and the physios, they've managed to isolate the problem, work on it, give him time to work on it. And we're reaping the benefits of it now because I've never seen him better.
Yeah, he's brilliant. So, back 4 sorted. Midfield. Yeah. Now, if you'd said this before the Inter game, everyone was Fabinho, Thiago, probably Elliott.
Yeah.
We'll agree. Henderson, he'll be on the bench. I'm at that point now going, can't see Henderson not started.
I think Henderson will start.
Yeah,
I think Henderson, Fabinho start. And you would assume Thiago starts, but it's that niggle in your head going, Klopp does like to throw in a weird one.
No.
Does he do a cater again like he did the Real Madrid game? Go, I'll just throw him in.
Hopefully he's learned from that and go, no.
Hopefully, I would play. For me, I'd play Thiago, Henderson, Fabinho. The only question is, can all 3 of them do a full 90? I think that's a little bit of a
I don't
debate.
But you don't have to. That's the whole beauty of this because you've got the 5 subs. My only worry for that midfield, right, is our last game against Chelsea. Kante was outstanding, and we couldn't get near. Yeah, we couldn't get near that Chelsea midfield because of their.
But
we were 2-0 up in the game, and it was just pure dumb luck.
Just didn't have control.
But we didn't have.
Never looked like we were 2-0 up.
But we never had Thiago. I think when he went to 2-1, that's where you probably would have had someone like a Thiago put his foot on the ball and actually just take 2 free kicks. Get you to half time 2-1 and then go, right, we regroup here. This is a nightmare.
Yeah.
I think that's because we haven't played that midfield 3 hasn't played. I don't think hasn't played against City. I don't think it's played either the games against Chelsea. It hasn't played in too many of our bigger games.
Yeah, look, I wouldn't argue with that midfield 3. I think it's probably our strongest midfield 3.
Compliments Fabinho because him and Thiago sometimes goes at 2. Allows Henderson to press a lot higher up when he needs to. But if Thiago does want to do his a wander forward, it's got the discipline to flick it. So it's probably the most balanced.
And the front 3,
the front 3, it feels like it fits itself. Yeah, Salah, Mane, and Diaz.
Yeah.
I
think
if it wasn't for his injury,
Mane through the middle. I like him through the middle.
Give him he looks more confident through the middle.
Yeah,
and because Mane's very unorthodox. I mean, he's a very unorthodox forward. He makes him more of a nightmare to mark.
He doesn't exert a lot more energy that he does out wide. I feel like that he can conserve his energy to drop deep, and then it's a quick burst through 1 or 2 players, and then he's in.
It's a good show.
Thing.
The good thing,
and I think if he does sign a new deal, I'm wondering if they've looked at it and gone, yeah, we can keep him, but he's going to play down the middle. He can conserve his energy, and he won't look as tired. And then when he's not as tired, he doesn't look as clumsy when he's bumbling down the wing rather than what he's looked the last couple of games.
It's a good show because Diaz looks tailor-made for the left, and Jota looks really good middle or left. Yeah, Jota doesn't quite work on the right.
No,
that's probably an area that we haven't quite got someone yet. I mean, technically, Manny can do that. But he hasn't done it properly for good 3 years now.
But that's a good 11, to be fair. I'd be delighted if that's the 11. How do you see Chelsea going?
So, first debate, is it Mendy or is it Kepa?
I think it'll be Mendy.
You say
I think it'll be Kepa.
I think Kepa.
I hope it's Kepa. I think it's
the League Cup thing with big clubs that they always need to play the reserve goalie. And Kepa's played every round.
Yeah. He did okay in January. He wasn't outstanding, but he's not the bumbling, stuttering.
He was.
Yeah, because I think the price tag weighed really heavy on him when he first signed.
Yeah, but I think
that's not his fault.
But I think the likes of Lampard and that made it known they just didn't rate him. They made it known quite quickly they didn't rate him. So
yeah,
back three, I assume, would be Christensen, Silva, and Rudiger.
Yeah.
Is there an argument for Sarr playing as a
back four?
Yeah, there is an argument for Sarr because again, when we look at sometimes when you look at old League Cup finals, the more modern ones, both teams always go with the strong stuff. They do go with a little bit of a mix and match sometimes. I think this might be a bit different, but again, Tuchel want to get his first domestic trophy, so I wouldn't feel go with his strongest line. Look, I think Rudiger and Thiago Silva are pretty much shoo-ins. Chelsea have got a bit of a gimme in the FA Cup. I think it's Luton away, so they can afford to rest most of their squad. They probably will. And Christensen, to be fair, I've not been a big fan of him, but he's done well this year.
He's a solid centre back in the three. He's a good defender, as long as you don't ask him to turn.
Not so good in the two.
Yeah,
which you could say the same for all.
But I think Rudiger's the same. I don't think Rudiger's any good in the two. Thiago Silva in his prime was ridiculous in the two. He was brilliant. The three suits him better because he's 37. So you've got to play him in a three at 37.
He reads the game like no one else. He's
fine wine as well. Just seems to be getting better.
Yeah. He's annoyingly good. It's very annoying.
I honestly didn't think when they signed him, I thought he's just come for a pension and a payday.
No.
But there's been other Brazilians who've moved for bigger money, for bigger wages.
Are we talking Willian and Luiz to Arsenal?
No, I'm talking about Neymar.
Oh,
the likes of Neymar, the likes of Messi, who've taken the soft option and gone to a weaker league, whereas Thiago has gone from Serie A,
the French league, to Premier League,
to the Premier League, and he's shown that he's well capable of doing that. And hats off to him. I think he's a phenomenal player.
Wing backs for me, the wing backs have picked themselves, Alonso and Azpilicueta, because I've heard Reece James is fit. I'll be surprised if they start him. He's not played for months, and you're going to start him in a cup final.
I think you break him in. If anything, he might come off the bench, depending on the game situation. But I think the FA Cup will probably be his first run out.
Yeah, I think so. Right. Do they go over midfield 2 or a midfield 3? They usually go over 2, which is normally...
It all depends on Kovacic's fitness, because if
apparently he's fit,
then I think it will be Kovacic and Kante as a 2, just like they did at Stamford Bridge.
Which gave them the mobility, which is what gave us the problems.
Yeah.
When they brought Jorginho on, it slowed the game down, which in some ways gave them a bit more control, but we had the last 10-15 minutes was our best spell in that game.
Yeah.
And it was when Kovacic went off. So according to Thomas Tuchel, Jorginho and Ziyech are both fine.
Yeah, I think Tuchel lies through his teeth the same as Klopp does. I think their midfield is going to be Kante and Jorginho.
Yeah, it's Kante and one other. It's just which one is fitted up. Well, talk is both trained. So front three. Now I've seen a few. I've seen a few Chelsea fans who I think would like it. Havertz through the middle with 2 pace men either side of him. I've got a feeling he's going to play Lukaku. I think he's going to play Lukaku. Havertz.
Plays Lukaku.
I think he's going to play Lukaku. Havertz. I think he'd play Pulisic because Pulisic against us has good games. And Pulisic is a good player. The only thing that lets Pulisic down is his fitness. That's the only thing that lets him down. It's not an ability thing. It's not a drive or anything else. He's really, really good. Ziyech, for me, I don't know if he's fit or not. Laura Duffy says Ziyech and Kovacic both trained. Apparently the injuries were impact injuries only. So
Yeah,
Because
there's just no way.
Ziyech is their form man at the moment.
Yeah. I think Kovacic went off after going on a 80-yard run, and Ziyech went down like a sack of spuds with nobody anywhere near him. So, yeah, we'll find out on Sunday. But my front three will be Mount and Pulisic with Havertz ahead of him.
I think I agree with Kev.
I think they look better with Havertz through the middle.
Yeah. I
think Havertz.
Lukaku stifles him.
Yeah, in another world, Havertz would have been your ideal Firmino replacement. In another world, he's never going to get it now. But that's what he'd been. You know, he's very, very good. The reason I didn't put Mount is because he only just made the bench for Lille, so I don't know how fit he is.
Yeah, I think if you get 60 minutes out of him,
maybe Werner. I just don't know. Maybe Werner, high line, big Wembley pitch.
I can see. I think Werner's the best and impact sub.
Yeah, or maybe he
again
just comes on
big,
60.
Big pitch, high line, last 10-15 minutes. Maybe that's what you want. You want someone like stretch.
Here's the thing: when you look at look, we've had the discussion around our 11. There's a discussion to be had around their 11. They don't have a settled 11. They don't have a settled pattern of play. They could go 3-5-2, or they could go 4-3-4-3. The only thing we know for certain is they will play a back three. That's the only thing we know for sure. It's just a case of if they're going to play a two-man midfield or a three. And he tries to be clever, or he tries to be too clever at times, where he changes it in game to suit the situation. I think it was against us, actually. He changed from a 3 to a 2, and then within 10 minutes he changed it back again because it wasn't working. And I think that was after a substitution, or so. It was after someone went off. I can't remember if it was Kante that might have gone off or something.
He took Kovacic off and brought
Kovacic off. That was it, yeah. And it just didn't work.
They lost the mobility because it was a fast game, and Jorginho couldn't settle in it. And Jorginho's a really good player, but it didn't settle. I think the thought was he put his foot in the ball more and spread the play, but it didn't quite work out well because Liverpool's best period in the second half was the last 10 minutes. And it was when Kovacic went off, we got a stranglehold in the midfield again.
Yeah.
So I'm intrigued by this because I think it's our best midfield start. That's probably the strongest midfield we'll have had starting for a while. So and the nice thing for us is we're in a nice vein of form. You know, the last time we didn't win a game was Chelsea in January.
Yeah.
Since then, it's just been a row of wins. I mean, first to Chelsea have won. Chelsea actually don't lose that many games. I think they've only lost 3 in the league all year. Draws is what's killed them.
A lot as well.
That's what's not killing games off is what's hurt them. So,
does anybody know if this is 90 minutes and pens or 90 minutes and extra time?
90 minutes and extra time plus pens.
90 minutes and extra time.
Okay.
Heard that mentioned. So again, that's why the Jota thing is if Jota's going to get picked and the game's tight, he's only coming on for the last 10-15 minutes in case it's extra time, because then you ask him to do almost a full half then.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great. I mean, I'm looking forward to the game. Looking forward to seeing the lineups. The Sky are doing a massive build up for this. I think they're starting to build up from like 10:30 on the Sunday morning. So
luckily for me, to help my final nerves, I'll be at the women's game, and I'll get back for the final. So then I miss all the build up, which in some ways is a good thing.
I'll be halfway.
Are you going to miss it all, Luke? Or
I'll be halfway through a 9-hour shift when the final is on, working in my local shop. So I'll have it on my phone under the till. So I'll have a look every now and again when it's quiet. So
that's unfortunate.
Modern technology.
The cookies crumbled, unfortunately, when I agreed to take on the shifts. I was like 27th, and then it was like, oh, Liverpool playing on the 27th, and I was like, oh, I can't change it.
So
I've agreed to do it, so I'll do it.
You got to do it, mate. Right, score predictions.
And as Laura points out, you get a 6 sub when it goes into extra time as well.
Oh, lovely.
You go.
Great, huh?
Chill's got these pearlers as well, so it always helps.
That's brilliant.
Score predictions. They're always tight, aren't they?
Yeah.
3-1. I'll say Salah, Mane, and Virgil for us. And I think Pulisic for them.
Luke?
I'm going to go 3-1 as well. I'm going to go Salah twice, Mane, and I'm going to go Havertz for Chelsea because he always pops up in these games.
We've got Curtis with 2-1. We've got a 3-1 here. Laszlo's gone 27-0. Okay. God.
We're playing rugby league or something.
Avo the third's gone 7-2 to the Redmen. Reclaim's gone 6-3. Oh God! Imagine
a couple of red cards.
Have you seen Liverpool's League Cup files? They're not normally high scoring.
No.
Listen, I'll take a 7-2. All's win.
Bird's gone for a day.
If we score first
3
early,
yeah, Bird's gone
really
for a day.
good.
Yeah, I went for 2-0. I'm desperate for Kelleher to get a clean sheet.
Yeah.
It's 2:30 to 4:30 a.m. on a Monday morning in Oz. Oh,
that's where the dedication comes in, Craig.
That definitely is that.
That is proper dedication. He's gone 3-1 for Liverpool. Yeah, I went 2-0.
Laszlo's back down now. He's put 2-0. That's very disappointing.
Yeah, I went 2-0. I think Henderson gets one, and I think Mane gets one.
Okay, Jonathan's gone. Chelsea will park the bus. 1 goal might win it. 1-0 Salah. I'm not sure my heart is.
Yeah, I think it'll be tight. I mean, look, I'm not dismissing.
I mean, to be fair, historically as well, games of us and Chelsea, they're normally tight.
They are normally tight games.
Hard games. So
I don't want penalties, please. Please, I can't.
Do you know what? I fancy if it came to penalties.
Okay.
I fancy Kelleher
for a bit of fun.
I genuinely would. I'd fancy Kelleher and penalties.
Penalty shootout. Who are your 5 penalty takers? Salah. Fabinho.
Sadio.
Yeah.
Milner.
Trent.
And
Great. Anything different for yourself?
No, I think I agree with Kev, actually. I always think Van Dijk might have a good penalty on him, but I've seen him
score a free kick for Celtic.
Yeah, but that was like ages ago. He's not.
I know, yeah.
Come close to that since.
No, I know.
Okay. I would go Salah, Fabinho, Milner, Thiago, Jota.
Thiago actually didn't he take a pen in one of the shootouts?
I have no idea if he took a pen. Just the way he strikes ball, it's like Alonso. You go, he just must be good at them because he's good at everything else. He probably just pings. He probably pings it. He probably looks the other way as well, just to really take the piss.
It's going to be a cracker every which way you look at it. It's going to be an absolute belter of a game. And look, in some ways, I'm glad against. Sorry, Luke.
I think it's crucial for our season as well if we do pick up this trophy, because it's all about momentum now. I feel like that if we get this cup, I feel like the momentum it could bring towards the rest of the season is crucial, especially with the title running with City. I think every game now is like a must-win just to keep the winning mentality going.
This is why I would say it's been like the 2000, 2001 vibes for me. It could be a catalyst. Now, to be fair, we thought we beat Cardiff in the League Cup. We thought that'd be a catalyst to do Champions League. I feel the way this side works, I think it could be a catalyst to go to the next level. Because Liverpool, they've been different, however, over the last month or so. They're starting to get back to more to that.
Yeah.
The league winning mentality
City
where
used this as springboard as well. City used this as right. We got the League Cup. Now let's go and push on for the league.
Love him or loathe him, plenty loathe him. Mourinho had that right in 2004. First thing he did at Chelsea is bang, I get the League Cup, and we kick on from there.
Yeah,
and Pep's gone for it every year, because get that done, we move on.
Yeah.
It doesn't define your season as such as in they use it as this is the kickstart. Get the first one out of the way, and then we move on again.
It's the beginning of the end of the season, isn't it?
Yeah. Laura said last time Thiago took a pen was at a game in 2013. Well, to be fair, Laura, that means he's due one. Don't spoil my fun. I don't know why. Just the way he strikes the ball, I think like he just must be good at pens, and he's such a calm character. Thing like I just think it's something he just embrace. Assuming he's on the pitch that long. I mean, I am also assuming Thiago's 220 minutes, which
I honestly think an applicator as well from the penalty spot.
I mean, Leicester penalty was quality.
I just remember this penalty against Leicester.
Maybe not tacky. His was not as good.
That would be absolute class, Laszlo. Massive definitely does wobbly legs run up.
Where's that?
Yeah. Oh, could you imagine?
Reverse groveler.
Oh, do you know what? I've changed my mind. Not VVD. Matip to score to make it 3-1.
Yes.
Matip scoring a goal in the cup
Yes.
final. He might even celebrate. You know what I mean?
That would be absolute quality.
I think everyone would pile on him. I mean, he might then be out for 6 weeks because they've all piled on him. But do you know what?
Yeah.
Part of me thinks it'd be worth it.
It's so worth it, though. It'd be worth it, though. Just
he's becoming one of my favourite footballers, Matip.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's pure cult hero, but he's absolute quality. He really, really is. He's so underrated.
It's been the league's best centre-back for me this season.
He doesn't even get into a discussion. If you're having a discussion or listening to a discussion on radio about the top centre backs in the league, he might get a token gesture throw in, but it's laughed off.
Yeah,
but we know how good he is. You know,
it's always he suffers from Virgil, as in everyone goes, well, he's good because he got Virgil next to him. When he did have Virgil, he wasn't as good. And you go, yeah, but to be fair, when he did have Virgil, he had like centre mids and Nat Phillips and Reece Williams next to him. He didn't have like a real, he did have an experienced centre back like Gomez next to him. Because if Matt Gomez had stayed fit for all last year, Liverpool would have been a lot further on than they were.
Oh yeah, we'd have challenged.
Liverpool win the league.
Challenged again.
So
I think we win the league.
That's sometimes it's not, and it's not. Look, this is not Virgil's fault because he's that good. He sometimes undermines the rest of the lads around him, going, "Oh yeah, but without him, he won't be that."
Yeah.
So, So, do we want to talk about the Premier League?
We may as well. Is there any good game? I mean, there's a few good games there. And it starts off tomorrow at 12:30. Leeds Spurs.
Yeah. Should we rattle through score predictions?
Yeah, I mean,
to us, if Tottenham can't beat Leeds, Christ Almighty, what's going on?
I've got Spurs down for 2-1. But
I've got 3-0 Spurs because Leeds can't defend.
And you know what? I feel like you're looking at what I'm thinking, Chris, because I've gone 3-0 as well. Leeds are sinking like a stone at the moment. I just can't see where they're going to pick up.
They're so naive. It's just like...
I think it was Shawnee put a comment in post-match the other night that was the worst side he'd seen at Anfield this season. And
yeah, I did say that, yeah.
And it wasn't from their attacking play because they had a go in patches. They started off really well. Up until the first goal, they started off okay. But they're so naive in the way they defend. They get pulled around all over the place. And I think tomorrow will tell an awful lot about Conte and the players, and the Spurs players.
Yeah.
That'll tell you everything you need to know about what Conte is feeling with the Spurs players, with the lineup that he goes with.
Here we go. Couple of comments from Red Side. 2001 UEFA Cup final was an epic experience. Something I wish I'd have gone to. That would have been brilliant. And he also says, after Sunday, no one will be calling Thiago a flop again. The fact people still do is...
just shows how educated or not educated that person is.
Could be 4-3, shit defences all round.
Yeah.
Craig Lowe's got 1-0 leads. Conte doesn't even make the press out.
Would not surprise me whatsoever.
It's a madness, isn't it?
I'm so annoyed he's doubled down on his comments. Oh, I've had a cut with the cut. I'm all right now.
What he said
it was funny. It was so funny.
What he said was absolutely right.
He was. Called them out.
He called the players out. They've lost 4 of their last 5. And playing against Man City is easy for them because all they had to do is sit back and defend and hit them properly on the break, execute the counters like they did. And that's fine. But when they have to go and dominate a game or go and create something on their own, they have the notion. And that group of players has sacked 3 managers now.
Yeah,
I can see him.
They're on their way to the 4th.
I can see him walking.
I don't know why. I still don't know why he's on the job.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't get it because talk about Spurs want to do a project build from young and do that way, which is fine. That's your project. Conte's not really. That's not really. That's not his thing. Conte's a bit like.
Conte wants to win trophies.
Conte to me is like what Ancelotti used to be when he was
given the best players,
which was if you had a club that was almost winning the league or almost getting the big trophies. You bring in Ancelotti, he'd buy those 2-3 bits of stardust and get that to work for you, like he did at Chelsea. I'll get you there. That's what he did, and that's not dismissing him. But that's what he did. He was very good at it. Conte's a bit like that, So this is why Conte actually was a better fit for Man United. Yeah, as in they've got a deep squad, deep pockets. He will probably buy the DM they need, get a proper centre back, not Harry Maguire, get a young, exciting striker, and go right off you go. And do you know what? That would actually make United busting
if he went to United.
That would actually make United a bit more scary.
Yeah, I can see him walking at the end of the season, and good old Brendan. I could imagine Brendan being Spurs manager for next year, and it would be brilliant. Be brilliant.
He's very Spursy the way he acts at the moment.
Because he's very Spursy. He loves bottling stuff. It's a perfect fit.
Yeah.
Brentford, Newcastle.
2-1 Brentford. This for me is, I think the next 2-3 games is Brentford season.
Yeah, it's massive, isn't it? I went for 2-0 Newcastle only because I think they've become harder to beat in the way he's playing. He's encouraging them to keep the ball.
They've also got a proper centre back in Dan Burn, which helps.
Yes. And he's dropped Lascelles and he's playing sharps.
Yeah.
I think
they look better too.
Christian Eriksen available this weekend.
This is why I think it's it feels a bit poetic. He's back, and the one thing he does give you is set piece delivery, which is early in the season is what Brentford were battering teams with.
Yeah,
great set piece goals, great creativity. It's gone off the boil. That one thing Christian Eriksen can do.
How did you have this one?
2-1 Newcastle.
Okay.
I just feel like Newcastle got that little bit of too much quality than Brentford. And I don't know, is Tony back for Brentford? I don't know, because he did that video in the transfer window where he basically said F off Brentford. So I don't know.
Yeah, he also then played after that, but then I think he picked up a knee injury.
He picked up I don't know if it was a niggle or a suspension, I can't remember.
But he did get, there was a reason. It wasn't a
disciplinary decision.
Disciplinary thing, because he'd come back since then.
All right.
Brighton Villa.
2-2.
I've got 1-1.
I just think that neither side can defend, and there's goals in both.
Finish their dinner.
I know.
I reckon there's goals in both of them. It's just a case of both of them, see who turns up on the day. Villa need a result. 1 win in 7.
This is the big test for Steven Gerrard as a manager. Is you are now going through it's not going your way. It's how he adapts.
Yeah, he's not professional there, mate. Well done.
Yeah, I like that. He'll never fit in here, will he? Kev, we don't do stuff like that. Palace Burnley. I've got 1-0 Burnley.
I want 1-1.
I've got 0-0.
It wouldn't surprise me.
This screams
Palace win in the week 3-1.
4-1 against. 4-1. Yeah, but that's because Watford though, and they're not exactly.
Burnley just come off a 3-0 win away at Brighton.
I just don't think there's any consistency in any of them sides. So
I've got just got a sneaky feeling of Burnley.
That's why it's a 0-0 for me, because neither of the good
Man United, Watford. I've just put routine 3-0 Man United. Watford is shite.
2-1. 2-1. I think Watford have the pace to get at United, but they don't have
finish their chances.
To keep it. It depends on how United react to the game they had in midweek, and how much that took out of them.
A hard game, that. I mean, good results. Probably not the best performance, but good results. We'll come back to the late game. Let's do West Ham Wolves first.
2-1 Wolves. 2-1 West Ham.
I've got 2-1 Wolves.
I think that game against Arsenal Arsenal ran Wolves ragged in that game, even though they got a late winner. They made Wolves work really hard for that.
I'm gonna go 1-1. I just got a feeling West Ham are just running out of steam, and they've just drawn Sevilla in the Europa League, and I feel like that the lack of January investment is really going to cost them towards the back end of the season. I think they're just going to
That's a tough draw as well. Sevilla good side.
It's a nice glamour ties out.
Yeah.
It is, but they're not the side you want to be facing at this stage. They're if you're going to face them, you want to be facing them in a semi-final.
Yeah, but apparently there's no Anthony Martial because he's already injured. Shock horror. And you wonder why United will can't have to let him go.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
There's actually a game next Tuesday night as well. Burnley and Leicester.
Oh, 2-0 Burnley.
2-1 Burnley.
I've got 2-1 Burnley as well.
No one trusts Leicester.
No, could you?
So let's talk about the other big game for the weekend is our Merseyside neighbours, the Ev, against Manchester City. I mean, let's be honest. I've enjoyed the mental gymnastics of certain Blues fans who go in.
I've seen it online
as
well.
We don't need to win this. You know, we can because we don't want to help Liverpool.
Win this. We'd rather go down than help Liverpool win the league.
Yeah, and a bit like one is you're acting like you have a choice because if you could dictate when you meet City, you probably wouldn't be in the bottom half.
Yeah.
Secondly, I've never got the hope we lose with some. I want my own club to win. It's a very strong. I mean, listen, for me, this should be City winning 2-3-0. It should be. This will be interesting. This is how City react to a loss. And to be fair to City, normally when they get beat, they go on big runs.
And how are they going to react knowing that Liverpool are 3 points behind?
No. Yeah, because they've got to go with the mindset of we can make the gap back to 6. Pressure's back on Liverpool.
We're 4 goals ahead of them as well.
Yeah, so
they're going
that's what they're going to go for is can we get a big score against Everton?
I think they could run up a proper score here. I honestly think they'll be the mindset with the amount of plaudits that we've been getting all week. It's almost and we're guilty of it. We're really guilty of it, assuming that we're going to go to the Etihad and beat them. You know, we're talking about us going level with them, as if it's a gimme. You know, we could end up going to the Etihad and end up 6 points behind them.
Yeah. Or we could go the Etihad be 6 points ahead. You know,
I think tomorrow night will tell a lot about City's frame of mind as well as Everton. Yeah. I think they could absolutely slaughter Everton.
But Everton could be in the bottom. I mean, the way Everton will look at it is they could be in the bottom 3 if they get beaten.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty conceivable because I could see Burnley beating Palace. It's not beyond the realms of possibility of Burnley beating Palace. And then it's not beyond the realms of possibility of Newcastle getting a result. So,
yeah, they could be. I think they actually will. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they are in the bottom 3 by the time match of the day kicks off.
Now, I don't know, for Everton in some ways, will that be a good thing? As in, it will give some of their players the real wake up. I'm still convinced some of their players don't think they're in a relegation battle.
Yeah.
By the way they act, the way they are. The likes of your Coleman's that, no, we're in the shit here. We need to pull it out.
Yeah.
Just the way some of them act, it's like, it's almost like you sleepwalk into relegation here, and some of you don't realise it. I'm not convinced the managers.
And if Everton go down, I don't see them bouncing straight back up. They're going down, down, down. I feel like that they could be the new Sunderland, where they just can't stop sliding down.
You do worry about it. I mean, Richo 63, to be fair, is always in the chat. All I can see is Everton dropping into the bottom 3. Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're in a world of hurt. I think they're in so much trouble they don't even realize it.
Listen,
you know,
the close next to a miracle for Everton will be a draw, but I can't see it.
Hey, a draw's still good enough for Liverpool. So.
Draw's good enough for us, but I'm looking up. I just can't see it.
No, I put down 3-0 for City, but it could be 6.
I've got 5-0 City. I think they're gonna eat up that goal difference. They're gonna go ahead on goal difference.
I think they're going to do
Everton a good old hiding.
I feel like it'd be one of those City ones where they go 3-0 with an hour to go, and they spend half an hour just passing the ball around, just killing the game, rested, get themselves ready for the next round, get themselves ready going. That'll do. That's kind of how City do it, and that's how they rest. And it's very good. It's very good. It's very Barcelona. That's what Pep used to do at Barcelona. Get 3-0 and just sit in it. And
it's a good point there by Nora. If Everton and Norwich and Watford go down, the first one back up would probably be Norwich.
Yeah, probably.
He's probably right. Yeah, I think Watford are going to have a fair few players looking to leave. Everton will have to sell rakes. Norwich have steadily built, and they're not. It's not going to cripple them. It's not going to hurt them financially to keep that squad together. They might lose one.
Here's a
Everton will
question.
also, if Everton did go down, they'd also have the same problem Leeds had for years, which is Leeds was a cup final to a lot of championship clubs because it's like, wow, we're going to
huge
Road, historical stadium, big club name. Newcastle, as much as we love to make up Everton, championship sides. I've gone to Goodison. Some of these players probably thought you won't play because it's a Premier League ground. Would you think you'd play there? So I think it'll be difficult. That.
Yeah. Newcastle were in the same boat as well when they were relegated. So I can remember going down to Ashton Gate with when Newcastle were in the championship, and it was in the championship, and it was one of the few games that Ashton Gate would sell out. The Newcastle in town, or you get the full allocation for the away game at St. James's because people would just fly up to Newcastle. And it was ridiculous.
Would you take anyone from Everton if they went down? Would you take anyone from their squad? That's all, because
Damari Gray's quite handy.
I think Calvert-Lewin is a very good centre forward, but he doesn't suit us.
Probably Calvert-Lewin.
It doesn't suit Calvert-Lewin. Doesn't suit well, but he do well at Tottenham. He do well at Arsenal.
Yeah,
he do well at Villa.
He do well at Villa. He do at any quite a lot of the sides that are chasing top four, like properly chasing top four. Yeah, he do well. He do well at West Ham. He'd probably do quite well at Man United. He'd be someone for a Sancho to set up. He'd actually do quite well there, to be honest. So Calvert-Lewin actually will have no shortage of buyers. I don't think he suits the way we play. I think Richarlison, if he goes, will go to somewhere like PSG or something like that. It's a Champions League club, but I think it'd be in Europe. Would go for him.
Yeah. Laszlo asked there what happened to Todd Cantwell. He was flying last time. Todd Cantwell's gone to Bournemouth on loan.
Yeah, I think he's on a free at the end of the season.
And he's on a free at the end of the season.
There's been a big falling out there, isn't there, between him and Norwich?
Dean Smith.
It was going on before.
Previous Dean Smith, the previous manager, because there's lots of Instagram stories, implying like he wasn't being allowed to play, and it sounded got quite nasty. Because let's face it, I think he's from that neck of the woods as well. So
he's a hometown boy, I think.
Hometown boy, so not being happy at hometown club's a bit of a big move. So he could be for Bournemouth. I think he's a good player. He just needs to recapture his form a little bit.
I think the TV games tomorrow. You got Leeds Spurs.
I'll be watching that.
Yeah, we've got United Watford over here. Everton City.
And I'll be in work for that.
The West Ham Wolves Sunday 2 p.m.
And then there's a big game at 4:30, but I can't remember what it is now.
Oh yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, some cup final, I think.
And then the women are also LFC women are playing Arsenal on Sunday as well.
Is that cup?
FA Cup, and that is also on the Beeb.
Yeah, that's a big test to see where Liverpool are at.
Well, it is. I mean, Arsenal are top of the WSL.
Yeah, they're probably one of the best sides in Europe at the minute.
Last time we played Arsenal in Austria, I think they beat us at home 3-2. We took the lead twice. It was a good game. They're good. They've got loads of fans. They've got the Dutch striker whose name Vivian. Oh, I can't remember her name now. She plays for she's like the Van Persie of women's football. She just scores goals for the sake of it. She's ridiculously good. Met her after her games and all that. She's a very, very nice person and all that, but she's a ridiculously good striker. And they got Jordan Nobbs and people like that. So they're just a really good side.
What time does that kick off, Chris?
I'm just getting the time for it. I believe it's 2:00. No, it's 12:00 actually. Telling lies. It's a 12:00 kickoff, right. So fans can get back to watch the game. To watch the final.
Is that
on the Beeb? BBC.
Lovely. Nice one.
So that, or if you can't get BBC, it's you can download the FA's iPlayer for free. You can watch the game for free on that. So cool. I'm going for a hopeful 2-1 Liverpool in the FA Cup.
Hell of a result, wouldn't it? What round are they? Are they in a fifth?
Fourth, I think it is.
Fourth
or fifth. So yeah, it's getting serious now. So yeah, listen, that'd be a perfect Sunday for me, wouldn't it? The women beat Arsenal and the men beat Chelsea. That's me drunk for a week. God help me get it to work on Monday. You might have to call in sick for me, Kev.
Cheek. I'd hang you. I'd hang you out to dry. Absolutely.
I thought we were friends, Kev.
Well, there's changed tack now, changed sports for a bit. Massive fight announced today for St. George's Day. Tyson Fury against Dillian White at Wembley Stadium, April 23rd. We all knew it was coming. We all knew the announcement was coming. I didn't think they'd do it for St. George's Day, but for that event in Wembley, it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge for British boxing. Luke, how do you see it going?
Happy for Dillian White to finally get his title shot, but Tyson Fury's going to win. It's going to be, he'll finish it whenever he wants to finish it. I just don't see any other outcome, to be honest. Like, there's just levels, and Tyson Fury's right at the top of the food chain, and there's quite a considerable step down where everyone else is to him at the moment.
I think until we see what Alexander Usyk does, and with everything that's going on in the world at the minute, nobody knows what Alexander Usyk is going to be doing this year. I think he's a phenomenal fighter, but I think this fight with Dillian White needed to happen. I'm glad it's happening for the reasons you said, but also it sets up a fight with AJ at some point later in the year. It was interesting that Fury came out and said he wanted to stay active. He wanted to fight in the UK.
Yeah.
And he wanted to stay active. Look, I don't think there's any other fight out there apart from AJ now. There's nobody else that, because unless Usyk gets back into the ring, there's no one else, and nobody knows what's going to happen with him. But when it comes closer to the time, we'll find out what's on the card. But I'm expecting an absolute blockbuster card.
Yeah.
But tomorrow night on Sky, not on pay-per-view, not on Sky Box Office, amazingly, Josh Taylor against Jack Catterall. Now, when the scary thing is for me, most people, me included, don't know that much about either fighter. And that's a huge problem in general for boxing. I mean, Luke, what's your take on it?
I think it's incredible, really, because Josh Taylor, undefeated, he's got all the belts in his division.
Light welterweight.
Yeah, light welterweight. And I think his last 5 opponents have all been undefeated. And the fact that he's got to give 11% of his purse to all the government bodies is an absolute joke. And it's why I really don't watch boxing a lot. That's why I watch the UFC, because I know with the UFC, I'm getting the best versus the best near enough all the time, apart from the odd exceptions where they go for the money fights. But it's just absolutely insane. I think, like, should he win, he gets the right to fight at welterweight against Terence Crawford. Which is another division that needs to hurry up, because there's 2 fighters undefeated, got the belts, but they don't want to fight each other because they're either mates or the money's not right, which is just nuts. Yeah. So I just feel like I feel like with boxing, you need 1 belt for 1 division, not 4 belts. 4 different governing bodies all want a different slice of the pie, and then they're making their own silver belts or an interim belt. Just they're handing out belts like confetti, and the belts don't really mean anything.
And they're not doing any favors for the fighters. I mean, these 2 guys tomorrow night, both undefeated, and it should be an absolute cracker of a fight. And I will watch it. You know, it's I've watched Taylor before, and he is all action. And I don't know enough about Catterall. Is it? Yeah, I don't know enough about him. But you know, it's on Sky Sports. It's well worth a watch. And then tomorrow night, then overnight, you've got UFC Fight Night. I think it's in Vegas.
Yep.
Is there anything on the card of note, or
the main event is Makhachev versus Bobby Green. I think Bobby Green just fought like less than 2 weeks ago. Won by knockout, and he's jumping in against the number 4 ranked lightweight, Khabib's protege. No one wants to fight him. I'm stunned he's even in the top 5 because he's not really fought anyone that really stands out. He last fought on Fight Island against Dan Hooker, tapped him out and won. Another fighter who took it on late notice. So the fact that he's taken he's taking an unranked fighter at short notice, and I fully expect them to beat him inside the distance. I think he's going to finish him inside the distance. And I really need to see Islam Makhachev fight someone on his level, because his previous opponent had to pull out due to injury. He had quite a serious leg injury, so that's why the opponent pulled out. But I really need to see a step up in competition because everyone's afraid to fight him. I don't want to see him against unranked fighters because finishing them doesn't do anything for me as the fan wanting to see him against that elite competition. So I just really hope that his next fight, he's going to get someone in the top 5 on his level, because he doesn't deserve a title shot, even though that he probably will go 10 in a row undefeated, which would warrant a title shot.
Yeah.
But he's not fought anyone in that title frame.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, next weekend is big one.
Yes, the big one.
Big one. Covington.
Masvidal.
And we'll get into that next week because that's a proper grudge match of 2 people who can't stand each other.
It's a grudge match. The press conference is going to be hilarious, but the fight's not going to be fun. I think.
When's UFC London? That's not far away.
19th of March. Hopefully, me and Callum might be doing something for that. Because I think Liverpool play United the next day, so won't interrupt with the game. But yeah, UFC 272, the main event looks great on paper, but when you look at this fight, it's 3 years too late.
Yeah,
this has got the stench of Amir Khan Kell Brook. Especially with one of the fighters, it's just a little bit too late. They're a little bit stale.
Yeah, Chris, did you?
Hey, to be fair, that fight was much better than I thought it was going to be. I found a way of watching it. I didn't pay for it. I'm not paying for that. But actually, that fight was surprisingly a lot better than I thought. It still wasn't worth 20 quid. But
I didn't think it was a good fight at all. I honestly thought it was
hilarious watching one.
Yeah, bar one round where Amir, I think bar the second round, Amir looked okay in the second round. Thought the rest of the fight it was atrocious. Kell Brook just did what he wanted.
I did like his interview.
Absolutely destroyed him.
I did like his interview afterwards. I don't think my heart's in boxing anymore. Do you think? I don't think your heart was in it when you walked in the ring. I think your bank balance is all right.
Yeah, it was. But look, Amir Khan will go down as one of Britain's greatest boxers of all time. There's no
he didn't need
doubt
that fight though.
mind.
But doing fights like that don't help.
No,
his legacy. He should have left it there.
Yeah,
with and let his records speak for himself, because his record's fabulous.
It was just unfortunate. It was just unfortunate for him. He was so young, 17, 18 at the Olympics, and 22 at world champion at 22. He fought everyone in his era who was there to fight. Win or lose, he fought them all, and he put up credible performances against a lot of them. And yeah, I just think he was a phenomenal fighter. He probably got down in top 6 or 7. Top 6. Yeah, if you were doing a top 10, I think he'd easily be in the top 10 British boxers that I've seen in my lifetime. I'd have him in around number 6. Number 6 or 7 for me.
Okay. But before we go, just remember, guys, it's in the chat. Don't forget our charity that was supporting Féileacáin. So if you want any of the details, Féileacáin, it's in the chat description below. we're trying if we can to raise 10,000. What do we know what we're up to at the moment, Kev? It's over the 2 mark,
as far as I know, with the golf day and everything, we're up to around 4 and a bit. But
okay, so
we got to raise $2,000 a month between now and the target date in June. So it's a really big push now. I mean, by now you all know the ins and outs of what the charity does and what service they provide. But I guarantee you a penny, if anything happened in your normal day-to-day lives where something unfortunate or something tragic happened, you know how to access it now. A lot of people still don't. So please share it, share the links to the charity around your socials, and hopefully it'll help get us to our target. You know, it's one of those things, it's a call that nobody will ever want to make. But if you need to make it, it's a lonely place you're in when it happens, and having someone on the end of a phone who's been there, walked the walk, and wore the t-shirt is invaluable and priceless. So please, just if you can, you know, like, subscribe for the channel, great, but please share the links and the stuff for Féileacáin. Really would appreciate it.
Well said, Kev. Right, guys, I think we're going to leave it there. So take care of yourselves. Fingers crossed, we're going to be sitting here next Friday with Liverpool winning the next round of the FA Cup, Liverpool men being the League Cup winners, and we'll all be swimming and happy. But listen, Luke, thanks for coming on the channel again. I have no doubt we'll get you back on. And Kev, I'll see you soon, buddy, because we'll probably do something next week together, won't we?
Yeah,
we normally are.
We don't know if we're doing anything on Sunday post-match, but I was listening today with Gav when he was on for his 2:00 show. Because the game finishes so late and we'll be definitely doing the Fatback 4,
you may as well just do it.
We might leave the game digest and then go big post-match Fatback 4 on Sunday night. So,
or you'll get 6 cans in before the show starts. One or the other. It's all right, isn't it? Easily.
Come on, new Reds.
Yeah, I'll look forward to that. So then, guys, take care of yourselves, and we'll speak to you all very soon.